Let's talk about the 1.2 million grant to the ACF of San Fernando Valley and how the whole process started.
Well, I knew that Paul had gotten the fire station donated, and I knew whose idea it was, no doubt, Greg, and I knew that it's nice to have this, but you have to turn it into a community center. It's a fire station. We're not going to have big red trucks. I don't know if they're going to keep the pole, but if they do, it won't be for people sliding down. Just recently, we went back to a process that we had had for many years, where members of Congress can come forward with a project for their district. And you're able to come up with a few, and this just seemed so perfect. It's going to serve thousands of people. And I don't have to tell you, there's a large Armenian community in the valley, and particularly the West Valley. And, there are other parts of town that have, Glendale, they got more of this already. But here in the valley, to have a community center seemed very important. I went to the Appropriations Committee, and I talked to Rosa Valora about it. I said, I need this, and we got it. And then it had to go to the Senate, and I was a bit concerned, not that any senator would look at this one project, but that either, and even at the last minute, they could have thrown out all of the community projects. There's a certain ideology against those projects, and they could have either cut all the community projects or they could have just wiped them all out. And by God, we bargained hard. The House was in favor of these. We got them. And frankly, they're way less than 1% of the money that's being spent. And I'll put my knowledge of the community up against any 20 bureaucrats. It's the same money. The question is who's deciding. And the bureaucrats still get to decide 99.8%. And members of Congress through the congressional process. And it's not just me. It's not like I can just do, I've got to convince the Appropriations Committee that it's a good project. But it's a good project, so it was easy.
It is, and it was a long time in the making from the time that it was decided to give the fire.
When this thing started, the House did not do community projects. And so I was, thank God, I hope this goes forward. But I couldn't. And then the policies changed to back to the way I had always known them and supported them. And I said, this I got to do.
Are there certain provisions on how the money is to be spent?
It's to be spent to renovate this building. And there are a host of rules as to what projects a member of Congress can seek funds for. And this met all those rules. And then you describe the project and what organization is going to get the money and how much is needed to complete the project, in this case 1.4, and how much I'm applying for, in this case 1.2, and how it's going to benefit the community.
And does the recipient organization have to provide some kind of accountability reports and?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. It's important to be accountable.
And that because look, there are hundreds of these around the country, and if just one turns out to be a scandal, we won't do them anymore.
Yeah.
And so my ability to help my district is dependent upon all of the projects going well.
And I'm sure it will be put to good use, and the community center will flourish and become.
I'm hoping that we can get this built in a year. We'll see. But I want to come back in a year for the ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
And see whether it's adult daycare, whether it's after-school programs. I look forward to being there.
And whether it's all of the above.
Well, I expect it to be full.
Yeah. Very quickly, I can't have you in front of me and not talk about what's going on in Nagorno-Karabakh right now. As you know, yesterday, the International Court of Justice ruled that Azerbaijan must comply and must open the road. What are some of the elements that you're working on in Congress about this specific issue?
That is a good ruling, and this ridiculous idea that these were ordinary civilian environmental demonstrators blocking the road. It's funny, nowhere in the history of Azerbaijan has there ever been environmental demonstrators blocking anything Aliyev wanted to do. No, I mean, I got together with Malone and others and introduced House Resolution 108, which condemns Azerbaijan's blockade. I then had a press conference that I hosted, and we had quite a number of members of Congress join me there. And we, of course, called for an end to all military aid to Azerbaijan and enforcing Section 907 of the Freedom Support Act. A few months earlier, before this road was blocked, back in May, I had a chance to confront Secretary Biden at hearings and demand again that we end all aid to Azerbaijan. At that point, I said until the Armenian refugees are allowed to return. Because, look, the blockade's a tactic. The effect is the deprivation. But the object is ethnic cleansing. Their goal is to evict Armenians from an area where Armenians have lived for at least 3,000 years. And we just can't let it happen. I mean, ethnic cleansing in the 21st century. We also, of course, Tony Carglass and I got an amendment through on the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, calling for an investigation of Israeli war crimes. One of the things I'm proudest of is on the 30th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between the United States and Armenia was awarded the state order of the Republic of Armenia. So I'm proud of that. Oh, and as long as we're talking about our side, back in 97, I was the first to propose and get foreign aid for what was then the Republic of Nagorno-Karabakh.
Yes.
And the State Department pushed against it, saying, well, that might imply recognition. That wasn't a bug, that was a feature. As they would say in the Silicon Valley. So, we're up against a dictatorship with huge amounts of oil money and thousands of drones. And all we have on our side is justice.